Shalom, Anita Hartshorn coming to you from Eilat, Israel. This is for my Grassroots Champions Challenge 2, which was Universal Language, Body and Blade. And first I want to say that I enjoyed looking at all of your pieces, and I did have 2 comments or points that I wanted to cover before I get to my scores and the reviews of each of your individual's piece of work. My first comment is that a lot of you used solo instruments for your choice of music. And remember, when you use a solo instrument, there are really 2 instruments. The silence in between the music becomes almost the second instrument. So make sure when you're working with your choreography that you are choreographing to the musical note as well as to the silence. My other point was that one of the universal languages that I feel speaks to everybody around the world is language of emotion. And if you decide to include emotion as one of your main points, you need to make sure that it's a visceral response. And if you're trying to portray something such as grief, don't be afraid to be ugly. Because when you suffer loss like that, it's not pretty, because you're literally having something ripped from your soul. And so those are my 2 relevant points. I'm going to move on to the scores. Felicia and Mariel, 3.5 stars. Emily, Diana Lynn, Garrett, 4 stars. Adam and Robert, 4.5 stars. Heather, 5 stars. My first review is going to be Felicia. Felicia, you are a drop-dead gorgeous girl, and you have a total understanding of traffic flow and pattern. You had a beginning, a middle, and an end to your piece. You did an intro, and it was your intro that kind of threw me off a little bit, because you talked about the 5 stages of grief. And so my expectations of your number were now going to be fairly high for really feeling sorrow in your piece. And that just didn't come across for me. But regardless of not having that emotional response to your piece, your skating is lovely, your edges are nice, you have some very nice highlights, you have Kodak moments throughout your program. And so the next time on the next challenge, make sure that you think a little bit more about using your face and your body in perhaps ways that aren't so attractive, because it will help relay an emotion such as anger or grief, if that's what you want to relay. Mariel, your theme was time, and I thought that your choice of music was excellent. It was unusual, and your intro was very interesting. I didn't think that the first part of your program went to the beat of the music as well as the second half of the program. Your body movements and the theme was carried throughout, so I really enjoyed the fact that you kept that going. When you do your standstill position and moves in the middle of the program, it will read better to the judge and your audience members if you would do it almost exactly in the middle on the red line, so that you're facing the camera, so that we can get the full intent of your program. So keep that in mind for your next challenge, that the judge is basically the camera. Emily, you use the cello for your piece, and so you're one of the ones that I was talking about, making sure that you use the silence in between the cello to help with your choreography. your skater Stacy was amazing. I loved the beginning of your piece. I loved the movements, the intrinsicate way that she would move her foot, and then you had her hands, and then you developed into some beautiful edges. I did feel, though, that the back decreasing edge spiral wasn't really musical. For me, it wasn't. But your power pulls were. I felt that the power pulls could have been a little more complicated, maybe with some more body movement or head movement. All in all, the cello piece was a beautiful bar exercise with an excellent skater. And so for your next challenge, one of the things that I would like you to use again is perhaps using your skater's face to show some type of emotion to bring that aspect into your work and across the audience. Diana Lynn, your offering was 5 stages of grief, and I felt that you had a better understanding of letting your body and your face have some positions that were maybe not so pretty. And I enjoyed the fact that your piece had a beginning and a middle and an end, and so that took me through those 5 stages. The ice was clean and totally clean in parts of your program, and I don't know if it's like that when you're practicing, but if it is, I felt that you could have used the clean ice for even more knee slides or body slides than what you did. There was a point in the program where you had some drums come in, and I would have liked to have seen your movements accent those drums a little bit more. But all in all, I felt that you certainly came across with what your 5 stages were. And so next time on your next challenge, if you've got clean ice, think about using it a little bit more with some unusual slide. Garrett, this week you offered Moving On, and you used a skater other than yourself, Nicolette House. I felt that Nicolette showed off your choreography very well. Each time there was a huh in the music, she had a movement, and you had an interesting beginning. She got through the middle. Then, of course, at the end, you had that great little hair trick. I would have liked to have seen a little more deep edge work and perhaps some more lower body movement. And last week, your piece that you presented, First Kiss, I had much more of a visceral reaction to your piece than what I had to the Moving On piece. And I don't know if that was by design or not, but in your next challenge, make sure that you go back to wherever it is that you found the emotional response from the first piece that you did and use that again on challenge 3, because that will always have a better reaction with your audience member. Robert, your piece this week was titled Winter, and you used Wesley, who is an absolutely gorgeous skater. You were another one of the skaters that happened to have absolutely pristine, clean ice, and you did use that quite nicely for your opening knee slide. I felt that the musicality was lost a little bit on the jumps and some of the other turns, and so you're also one of the people that used a solo instrument, and I felt that you could have developed a little more of the choreography within the silences. But all in all, considering that Wesley only had, a week to learn this program and to skate it, I thought that he did a superb job. And Wesley, you should really keep this program in your back pocket, continue to work at it and present it at an exhibition, because it will only get better with time. Adam, you offered Broken in Flight, and Dale, your skater, is very talented with his arm movements. And actually, Adam, you remind me a little bit of Brian with your unusual choreographic arm movements. I really enjoyed seeing that again. I felt that your piece had a nice change of pace and that your movement went with the music. I would have liked to have seen maybe more of a skating highlight and a little more deeper edge work from Dale, because he certainly has all the upper body movements going on. And I know that you guys are on Disney, and so who knows how many shows you're doing a week. And so I have to say I really respect the fact that you've going for this challenge and that you are taking the time to present us with your choreographic talent. You're doing a great job. Heather, this week you presented Frozen Pond, and your skater was Jessica Martina. She is a beautiful skater, an excellent choice for what you wanted to do with your choreography this week. I gave you the best score that I could because you absolutely fulfilled every requirement that I would like to see within a choreographic piece. You, of course, had a beginning, an unusual beginning, starting from standing on the mats to the program. Then we had the nice little wipe of the blade with the snow. You had a beautiful Kodak moment where Jessica turned and looked at the camera and gave us a slight smile. Then we had the point where you had some really nice knee slides and movements and steps that went very well to the music. Your piece left me feeling just calm and really wanting to see more. So Jessica, if I were you, I'd keep that program in your back pocket and get a costume and get it ready for the next time you're called on to do an exhibition. In conclusion, I'd like to say thank you to Audrey and to all of you young choreographers for your time and your energy. The skating world is so lucky to have so many of you with such talent, willing to put in the time and effort to increase and expand your horizons. So thanks for including me, and good luck on your next challenge. And my only little piece of advice is make sure that you remember that the camera lens is your judge, and don't be afraid to go up into the camera lens and use your facial features a little bit more to help bring home your emotional component of your piece.